direction I wanna take the podcast in that direction. I wanna ask you guys like what role, and I know has played a role in both your lives. So explain to us like what role has your faith and like God has that played a role in your career, and just becoming the men that you guys are today.
Yeah, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go for it.
Okay, you can.
I'll go for it. So
Difficult question, man.
it's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because I've seen my faith being tested so many times in this industry. You get clients who can come to you with a bag of cash, and they can be like, I know there's an offer on that house, but can you make something happen? Here's a bag of cash.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you get all these sorts of situations, especially in this area that we work in. But then that's when your faith is tested, and you just have to trust God and your integrity. You just have to have integrity, because there's a lot of unethical people out there. So it's up to us, the young people who believe in God, to make a difference. The one time that my faith was tested was when we've got a league in our office which is called a premium league. So this is where they obviously elect premium agents. So like if you're performing very, very well, if your success rate is good in closing, but obviously because the people that are in this league are full status agents and we are only interns. So when they started this league, of course, and even though I was selling a lot of properties and making really good income for myself and a good name for myself out there, I couldn't get in this league, and even though we know that, like he said, like you keep on working and you know something good is going to happen, I kept on working and I was like, I want to be in there, but God, am I ever going to be in there? Even though like I know that someday it might happen.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to believe in God that it's going to happen one day.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to have a different goal. My goal is to just do my work, please God, and I know that that's going to come one day.
Yeah.
So I reminded myself of that verse, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah.
So true.
And I just like stuck to that. I was like, I'm just going to believe in that. I'm not even going to distract myself by saying I don't have this or I want to have this. I'm just going to do what God wants for me. And I started grinding. I just started pushing, and I worked harder than before because now I'm not distracted by what I don't have.
Yes.
I know what I have. I've got God. So I'm like, I'm just going to push through.
Exactly.
So I started working harder on myself and on my business. And one day we were just chilling at the office out of the blue, and then my partner Matthew and I, former partner, we were called and elected into this league, out of the blue. And I was not expecting this. I prayed about it, but I was like, God, I'm giving it up to you. Like I'm just gonna, and that's when I saw that sometimes, even in the hardest of times, you just need to trust God.
Yeah.
Just leave everything, just let it go. Don't stress about it. Keep working and keep pleasing Him.
Yeah.
And He's gonna give all the desires of your heart. He's gonna give them to you.
Yeah.
But only at His time.
Yes.
Because I only got this a year after I wanted it.
Sure.
So if I was someone else, I would have given up. I would have, told myself that I'm never gonna get there. It's never gonna happen. But because we serve an amazing God, gents.
Yeah, amen.
That's just one thing I can say.
Nah, it's really cool, man. I've seen that in the way that you just you don't hide your faith at all.
100%.
You know what I mean? Which is a beautiful thing, man. I think like God rewards that kind of stuff, bro. And it's awesome how much you've like prioritized your faith, even though you've been super busy with all these kind of things. I remember for a while you were still a youth leader while you were a real estate agent. Lunko, you can get into that a little bit, just about how you're currently doing that as well. But yeah, man, it's really cool that you've been just repping that as well, and you're reaping the rewards, bro. It's awesome.
Thanks, brother. Feels good. You guys are making me emotional.
Lunko, brother, tell us.
Okay, so for me, I'm also Christian, like everyone else in the room, and so as a Christian, we all have a moral compass.
Yeah.
And in the world, there are some things that will tempt you to deviate from what you think is right or what you believe is right. And there's many opportunities. Like whether it's screwing over a co-worker over a lead, it could be done easily, but the right thing is not to do that. And it's to work hard for yourself, because at the end of the day, karma will come back. The wheel of fate will come back and bite you back if you choose to do that to other people. And just the kindness that Jesus and the kindness and love that Jesus showed to people, random strangers, because we meet strangers
All
on
the
the
time.
daily.
Yeah.
Whether it's someone walking into the office and they're like, I'm just thinking of buying property, can you help me out? You know, it's up to you to treat that person, obviously with professionalism. Just treat them with common kindness and just love, like, you know, love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of stuff. So it's always good to just remember your morals, remember your beliefs, and that because I believe those things will take you far.
Yeah.
And also, no matter how busy you are, you gotta make time for your faith. Like for
Yeah.
example, I mean, I for one have been going to church I do go to church every now and again, but not as often as I would like to. But I do go to youth. I'm a youth leader. Every Friday, I make sure I try my best to be there and, you know, show kindness to the people, to the young people of Tableview or wherever in this area that we operate in. And yeah, just always make time.
Yeah.
Always make time to pray, read your Bible. Because obviously Jesus will look down. Jesus smiles down on those he favors. You know,
Yeah.
and so if you are living by his code and reading your Bible every day and doing all those little things, they seem insignificant, but in the long term, you see that they do have what do you call this? They do bear fruit.
They
Yeah,
bear
they
fruit,
do
yeah,
bear
yeah.
fruit. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very good. That's very
Yeah,
good.
that's true.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that question because I mean, obviously, like Christianity is a big pillar of what we do at Better Than Yesterday
It
as
is.
well. And I can just see it. You know, it shines through you guys. Like God's love and His light, like shines through you guys. That's why I like brought it up because it's something you can see. You know, in the way that both of you guys operate and just the way that you guys are as young men. You know, not even just real estate agents. But I mean, we all go to church together on a Sunday. Daniel, I mean, sure, I wish you were living here in Cape Town, man.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
sure you're doing some beautiful work there in Namibia as well, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I don't know if you had another question there. that you
Yeah,
wanted to pose to the
so-
boys.
Personally, I recently got into real estate as well as a side hustle
Let's
while
go.
I'm at uni because I'm studying property as well. So yeah, I'm looking into doing valuations and property management, and then actually want to specialize in project management. But how better to learn about property than, like Lumko said, you go and you practice as a real estate agent, even just cold calling. That's where I want to start because it's a constant base of income then for me to sustain myself during university, and then I can learn a lot about the property which maybe other people studying my career don't want to do, and they know that they can actually because it does really help. So I really wanted to ask from you guys, honestly, what are the pros and cons of being a real estate agent? Besides the commission that sometimes you don't get paid for a while, what are there? Any other cons, and then some pros as well.
Okay.
I would say, obviously, like it's a point to where to the point where you're not getting paid. It's just really grueling at first
Yeah.
because you start off, you've got absolutely no portfolio,
Yeah.
and getting houses, especially it'll also depend on what sort of market it is on. Like so many things can influence, like the economy could influence people's decisions to sell, or just whether you're just really unlucky, you're just not getting anything that you any people on the phone that are wanting to sell. Because and also some people, it's a patience game, like I said.
Yeah.
Because you could call someone and be like, yes, I want to sell my house, but only in 4 months' time. And so you can't just give up now, just like put down the phone and just never contact that person again.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent and just keep, even if you obviously you know that they're selling in 4 months, but just pick up the phone every now and again and be like, how are you doing? How are your renovations going? How's your whatever the situation is going? How is your packing moving? How's your visa coming along if they're moving out of the country? Just like follow up, create a relationship. Because what someone said to me is, houses sell themselves. There's a buyer for every single house in this area.
Yeah.
You selling your services, and it's a people business. And you just need to maintain relationships with other people and your clients, and what else? Challenges. Yeah, like I said, it's just really, really hard work. Sometimes you may feel like giving up because you're not getting the results you want. Also, you need to working with other people, because obviously if there's more than like one of you in an area, you guys are gonna need to work together and make sure that you don't clash.
Yeah.
Because having co-workers, like in our office is about 30 agents, and almost half of them work in Parklands, where that's my primary area, and so just need to, if someone gets a mandate before you, you can't now just decide to find that person or take revenge of some sort. You gotta be able to work well with other people and be a team player in some sort. Because as much as you're working together, you're working against each other in some sort of way. But there's also a way of doing things. So you gotta be tactful and be a team player. Even though you're competing with each other in the office, because obviously you want to get the best. You want to be the best. You want to get the most sales in your area.
That's cool.
Okay. I think the other thing as well is you need to be comfortable in liking things that you don't like. So as a real estate agent, you need to be comfortable, talking to older people, talking to younger people, especially in this market that we are in. I mean, we have a lot of older clients and a lot of younger clients. Some clients are intimidating, some are not. Some people are easy to talk to, some are not. And you need to like dogs and cats, even if you don't. I mean, because you're gonna get into a house. Sometimes I get home. Like sometimes I come from an appointment and I go and meet my girlfriend, and I'm covered in fur. She's like, "What the heck is going on?" Because you need to pet the cats and because when you get into that house, you need to familiarize yourself with the place. I mean, if there's a picture of a horse, then talk about the stables. You need to find common ground that even if you don't want to, but then for the client to like you, and for you to obviously understand each other, you need to speak their language. So even if you don't like sushi, but they like sushi, then for that day you need to like sushi. You know what I mean? So you need to familiarize yourself with just being comfortable with what's there. And real estate has no race, it has no age, because you, like he said, sometimes you can get a client that can come to the office. And it can be a 20-year-old like you, for example, but you want to buy. But if I'm thinking, nah, he's too young to buy, and maybe you just inherited 5 million rands, then we're never going to have business. But if sorry, I think there was a phone vibrating. But if I actually just tell myself that I need to treat every single client the same, that's why, even if we're friends, but if it comes to business, I'll take you seriously. You put friendship aside and you focus on business. So I think those are some of the pros and cons. Besides the commission and the waiting period, I think you just need to obviously be comfortable with dealing with every single person out there, and the dogs and cats and snakes.
You gotta not, I wouldn't say adapt to people's personalities, because obviously people are different. But you need to be able to know how to handle yourself in certain situations. So, for example, it's a classic example. Someone whose house is worth 10 million rand. They're a businessman. They talk business. They eat, sleep, breathe business. And so when you go to them, they're serious and they come across as intimidating. It's up to you to be calm and just chill out and be yourself. Never change yourself into what you exactly. Don't be fake.
Don't be fake.
Exactly. So those are just one of the challenges, because you get some people who are really, really, really difficult to deal with.
That's so good. Sorry, you just reminded me of something. So
spill the beans first.
Man. So this one time I had a client who owns a nightclub. And he wanted to take us to take an offer with him in the nightclub. So, like I said, you need to be comfortable. We had to go to a nightclub in the middle of the day. This place was so dark. We got in there, and the only thing we could see were the laser lights. It's like a lounge or something. And he's so comfortable. He's like, "Can I offer you guys anything to drink?" And we're like, "No. Obviously we want to stick to business, and you don't know who this person is." But it's just another funny example, taking an offer in a nightclub. So if you're someone who's like, "Nah, I'm not going to go into a nightclub," I mean, that's what the client wants. You need to find common ground. If he wants to meet in his nightclub, meet with him in the nightclub. Obviously, you got to be cautious, but
I guess, man.
That's
really cool. I got one final question for the two of you guys, and I would say, what is one piece of advice that you guys would give to a young person who's maybe watching this or listening to us speak right now, who doesn't believe that they can be successful at such a young age? I mean, you guys, like I said, 22 and 19 years old. I know a lot of people just don't think that it's for them. Daniel spoke about that before. I think there's a bit of a pandemic at our age where people just don't think that it's for them to be
Yeah.
successful. You know, they see other people outside and they think, yeah, they're cool, they're famous and they're doing well for themselves, and this guy's really putting the work, but I can't do that. You know, I think that's a mentality that a lot of young people have. So, what would you say to someone who just doesn't believe that they could be that person that's, you know, really striving on all fronts like you guys are?
I will fail. Can I go? Okay. So, well, think about it like rationally. I'm gonna use a radical example. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. They started when they were young. So if you think it's not for you, that's you basically setting yourself up for failure. You'd rather start as early as you can, and then so you know, cause who doesn't want to retire early? I don't want to be I don't want to be working till I'm 78, bro.
No.
I'm trying to retire. If I could, I would retire at the age of 50, bro. Just travel the world. And the way you can retire at 50 is if you start grinding at a young age,
Yeah.
and then you just work consistently. Work on yourself, work on your business, or work in your field, and make sure you are the specialist. You know,
Yes.
you're the guy that everyone else wants to come to. Start early.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like it's just a mentality switch.
Yeah.
When you mature enough, you'll realize that it's your future is entirely up to you.
Exactly.
You know, the minute you leave school, like school has a certain simplicity to it. You know what you're doing today, you know what you're doing tomorrow, you know what you're doing in the next 3 years. Let's say you're
Yes.
still in grade 8. You know what you're doing in the next 5 years. You could be going to school,
Yeah.
going home to homework. But like when you're out of school, it's up to you, and that's when that's when critical thinking comes through,
Super good, man.
where you decide you take it upon yourself to make yourself a success. Because no one else is gonna do it,
No.
Yeah.
unless of course you're like a trust fund kid. But you know that's a different story. But for the average person who wants to become successful
Yeah.
and they want to work, you gotta start at a young age. Figure out what you love. If you want to be an entrepreneur, figure out a gap in the market where you feel you can occupy a space, and start working on it as early as you can and as aggressively as you can.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
It's
Beautiful.
so good.
100%.
Anything you would add there, brother?
So I'm gonna give an example, because that was actually a really good one. I know a lot of young people who don't actually think they can, they can be in real estate or any other industry. They think, no, I can't do that. I think anyone can do anything.
Yes.
Like he said, like in our office, like there's competition and all. But I feel like if you're young and for the rest of your life, you need to tell yourself it's you versus you.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Every single day, it's you versus you. When you wake up, when you go to the office, or when you're riding the bike or whatever you're doing, it's you versus you.
Yeah.
And a good example would be, when I started, I wanted to be in hospitality, And when I got interviewed by my boss, he told me that when you want to be an agent, it's impossible for you to sell a house in the first 2-3 months. It's not gonna happen. He's like, I've seen it all. You'll come and you'll probably wait for the 3rd month for you to build a portfolio. And I challenged him and I told him, if you give me the job, I'm gonna do that. And he told me, Cole, I'm shaking on this, but it's not going to happen. And you know how it was.
And then man sold in the first week.
You do. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And then obviously I was a cold caller and I told him I want to be an agent now, and he said no, and I had to leave because I had to be an agent somewhere else because they didn't want me to be an agent. And then I came back and I told him, listen, I'm going to sell a house in the first month. He's like, it's not going to happen. But I challenged myself. I didn't challenge him. I was challenging myself. I told myself, listen, we can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm only 22, but it's hard to believe that in the last year of selling properties, I've sold over 28 houses, and even my boss said that is not possible. That you've sold, I think, about 32 now, 32 houses. I've got the biggest portfolio in our company of properties,
True that.
and only because I told myself, listen, it's me and God.
Yes.
We're not gonna look at anyone. Yeah, there's other people who are selling more than me in my company. I'm not the best in my company. There's people who are selling way more. But knowing that I'm at this age
Yeah.
and I'm doing this, I'm competing with
My
older
skills.
people.
People have been in the industry for like 20 plus years. That's like almost as long as
more,
you've been alive.
you know.
Yeah.
But knowing that, God, every single morning, I'm gonna please you. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna do this. It's not about looking at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Because if I start thinking, what where Daniel is, or where Michael is, or where Lunko is, I'm never going to achieve anything.
Yeah.
So you need to tell yourself, like, listen, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go work. It's my future, like you said.
You gotta look inward,
Inward.
and instead of looking outward. Otherwise, then if you're looking here, and there, there's no focus.
It's not
There's no focus, and you're exerting all your energy that you can be pushing into what you want to achieve,
Exactly.
what you dream of,
Mm.
and what you like take. When you have envy, then you just keep envying all of these people,
That's the thing.
and then you never get to focus on yourself and actually getting to where they are because you're focused on them.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
what I'm getting from this is you gotta be better than yesterday.
You gotta be
Yeah.
better than yesterday. You gotta be better than
Look, I'll give you
yesterday.
the cash just now, bro.
It's awesome, guys.
Sure, boys. That was a beautiful
Amazing.
conversation.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
so good to have you guys on this
Thank you.
podcast. It's been a blessing. Daniel, so good to have you back in,
Yeah.
in the same location
It's good to be
for
back.
another podcast. But just finish off the video there for us, bro.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. If you've watched till the end, if you know of a friend that was watching and they stopped midway, ask them to finish. And yeah, definitely share with someone who wants to get into this field, like
Yeah,
into real estate, because I think this was a lot of good information.
yeah,
And look how young you can get into it. You don't have to wait until you're 24 or you're a certain age. Defy the odds. Set the new standard. Be the next young person who creates a path for others to follow and make it easier for them. Add value to life. And yeah, so thanks for joining Better Than Yesterday. Much love.
Peace
Bye.
out.